Hello. So for this video, I'm going to be doing three book reviews on Only a Breath Apart by Katie McGarry, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, and Love and Other Perishable Items by Laura Buzo. These are going to be very short, very to the point. I'm really bad at book reviews. I've come to that conclusion, so hopefully by doing them, I get better at them. So yeah. Only a Breath Apart by Katie McGarry is about Jesse and Scarlett, and they grew up together. Jesse grew up in a trailer on like 6 or some acres of land with his grandmother, and Scarlett grew up across the way in a big beautiful house with both of her parents, and they kind of have a falling out their freshman year of high school, and then a couple of days before their senior year, Jesse's grandmother passes away, and Jesse's grandmother was extremely important to Scarlett. She was kind of a saving grace for her because Scarlett's home life isn't very good, so she's very upset. She's not supposed to go to the funeral, but she does anyway, and that's kind of how their relationship starts to kind of rekindle. So yeah, that's basically what it's about. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the emotional aspect of it. I liked Jesse. He seemed like a very loyal person. What else did I want to say about Jesse? I wrote stuff down because I'm bad at this. So they both have, Jesse and Scarlett have kind of demons that they need to come to terms with and kind of, I guess, defeat. Jesse believes that the land that he lives on is cursed, and that if he loves anything or anyone, bad things will happen. And so his story is kind of him trying to get past that. So he has to kind of get over the curse and how to get past it and kind of leave the land. And Scarlett's character, her demon is her abusive father, and how she's they're both stuck in this town, and Jesse doesn't really mind staying, but he also wants to get out at the same time, and Scarlett just deeply wants to get away. I really liked this. I think I said that. But I really liked how Jesse and Scarlett, they grew up together, but also, like, especially more towards their senior year, they grew up together and they also grew within themselves. So I think I gave this like 4 stars on Goodreads. This is also very, like, her dad is extremely abusive. He's extremely controlling. He keeps her trapped because his sister disappeared, and we don't ever find out what happens to her, but she disappears, and he kind of uses that, and so he doesn't allow her to have a job, doesn't allow her to hang out with people unless, like, the parents are there and they can call and check in on her. He has a tracker on her cell phone. So he's kind of basically doing the same thing to Scarlett that he does to his wife. Like, his wife has nothing in her name, and I thought he was written really well as her mother, who kind of, she understands she's being abused, but there's really nowhere for her to go because she doesn't have anything. And I thought that was written, like, from an abuser and an abuse survivor. Like, it was good, and it was very realistic, because I feel like sometimes people write things and it's not very realistic. So when they have their falling out their freshman year, it comes from Jesse because he heard some things, and So now it's their senior year and they're kind of rekindling their friendship, and I really liked it. Was very emotionally mature for both of them. He understood that he hurt her and he didn't immediately want or need forgiveness. He understood that it was kind of a process and how to, like, they had to get there. Yeah. I want to talk about the end. So yeah, and this is probably terrible, I'm sorry. Next book I want to talk about is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. This is about Erica and Michael, and this is in dual point of view between the two, as well as jumping 3 years into the past and to the present. 3 years ago, Damon, Kai, and Will, Michael's best friends, who are also known as the Horsemen, are arrested on Devil's Night, and they obviously think it was Erica. So they kind of spend their 3 years in prison trying to, they plot out their revenge to her, and that's basically the gist. But also Michael's in love with her, has been for forever, but he seems pretty conflicted because he wants to help his friends, but he is also in love with Erica. So yeah, I think I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads. I enjoyed it, but I also had several problems with it. This is very psychologically, they torture her psychologically. They're all, I think, like, in some form or another kind of psychopaths, maybe sociopaths, I don't know. Not sociopaths, they're sadists, that's a better word. It's very misogynistic. They're all extremely narcissistic. Like, I don't know how the 4 guys are friends, because they all have this leader mentality that they need to be, like, they can never be told no. And Erica is very strong-willed, and she doesn't really listen to them, and they don't really like that. So Erica also doesn't really like to show that she's scared, so she kind of makes dumb decisions. She also comes off as naive at times, which I didn't really like. It kind of felt like there were a lot of things that happened that could have not happened, obviously, if there was just communication between the 5. And Michael is basically the leader of the group and doesn't really answer to anyone, but yeah, so also Michael assaults her. Like, they all assault her, and he's deceiving her, obviously, because she doesn't really know what's going on, and she kind of trusts him a little bit, and then the big bomb drops. So that was an issue. And then Damon, I feel like Damon is a straight up crazy person. He gets off on torturing Erica, and he attempts to rape her several times. He assaults her. He sexually assaults her. Devil's Night, like 3 years ago, and Michael watches it happen and doesn't do anything. He's pretty unpredictable. He's my least favorite. Kai and Will, I feel like, are kind of the same person. Like, Damon and Michael are kind of the alpha males. Michael more so than Damon, I think. Kai and Will are kind of like the background, I guess. Not really. Like, they're part of this group, but they aren't the leaders, but they're also, like, tough. Is that making sense? I don't know. But Kai kind of hardens after prison, and you kind of can't really, he seems very distant and closed off, so you can't really expect anything from her or suspect anything. He and Will, I think, Kai and Will are very loyal to them, to Michael and Damon, but they all get off on torturing her, which is kind of weird. I love dual point of view. I think I've said that before, but I like the going back and forth and getting both headspaces and thoughts. It kept me interested a lot too. I was never bored, and I think that's why I gave it 3 stars, is because I was invested in the characters and I wanted to find out what was gonna happen. But it was a lot to read. I was super uncomfortable at some points, like when she's almost raped and she's assaulted a lot. There's just a lot of mental torture that happens, like I said, and yeah, so I think I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. So the next book we're going to talk about is Love and Other Perishable Items by Laura Buzo, and this is about Amelia and Chris. Amelia is 15 and Chris is 21. Amelia has a crush on Chris. Chris calls Amelia youngster, so it's obviously not very reciprocated, and that's basically it. That's the gist of this book. All 3 of these are told in dual point of view. This one is told in Amelia is told it's in real time, and then Chris's point of view is in diary entries. So that's basically what this is about, is Amelia having a crush on Chris and Chris not reciprocating, and then yeah, it's kind of about their friendship growing. So Amelia kind of seems a little naive at times, which I guess is expected since she's 15, but she's also very book smart, and she's very she's very whiny and immature too. She kind of yells at her friend and tells her to F off because her friend likes a boy, and a boy that they previously talked crap about, and she likes him now, and her friend's invited to this party that's like invite only, and her excuse that Amelia can't go is that there's not enough room in the car. And she tells her to F off, and like, I get it, but also kind of don't get it. Like, it seemed kind of messed up. But all is forgiven because Amelia's dad is, no, not Amelia's dad, her friend Penny's dad is leaving her mom, so I don't know. Chris is 21, and he mentions it constantly, all the time. He, to me, seemed very depressed. He's constantly drinking, he's very judgmental. He constantly is talking about other people's lives. He's judgmental, resentful. His friend has a rich dad, and so he got college paid for, bought a house with help from his dad, and a car with help from his dad, and he's very like, he resents it, and which I get. And then he's very judgmental too, because he's looking for the perfect woman the entire book, and nobody can ever seem to come to Michaela, who broke his heart, which I think is another reason he's depressed. And I wanted to talk about one thing that I hated. So he talks about this is a spoiler, he's starting to like Amelia, so he sleeps with Donna, and he's trying to like talk himself out of it. He's like, I don't want to sleep with her, blah 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 blah. But then Donna puts his hands on her boobs, and he says, once a man gets his hands on a couple of breasts, he's not going to stop himself. At least I wasn't about to. And then I wrote in all caps, I hate him. So there's that. So in conclusion, I feel like Amelia has to understand that the world doesn't revolve around boys, and that it's okay. I don't know. Everyone's relationships are different. She talks to her mom about her and her dad's marriage because she feels like they kind of have a 1950s marriage where her mom, not even 1950s, her mom works, comes home and does dishes and cooks dinner and does everything, and she's exhausted, and her dad doesn't really lift a finger. And she kind of talked to her mom about that, and she basically told her, don't try to understand things that you're not a part of. Like, everyone's relationship is different, and I love your father and he loves me. And it kind of felt like a little bit her head's in the sand, but that's just me. I don't know. And Chris feels stuck, so he has to change things to make him feel not stuck. I don't know. The whole book kind of felt like nothing really happened, and then something happened, and then nothing happened again, and then something happened, and then it ended. And I didn't like it. I think I gave this 2 stars. And the only reason I gave it 2 stars was because I liked the dual point of view, and I liked how that was done. I hated how Chris was constantly acting like he was so much more mature than Amelia, when I feel like they were kind of at the same maturity level. Amelia even more so at times. Yeah, it kind of felt like they didn't really have any redeeming qualities. So maybe they're perfect for each other, I don't know. I felt like none of the characters really did. I liked Ed. He wasn't even really in it that much. So yeah, it was just kind of all around a little disappointing, but that's it. I'm currently reading Hideaway, the second book in the Devil's Night series. I also ordered Conclave from, I also have Kill Switch and Conclave, which is a book, it's like a novella. It's like 50 pages between Kill Switch and Nightfall. So yeah, and we're on lockdown, so that's probably all I'm going to be doing is reading and sleeping. I also want to tell you guys, because this just started, I don't have coronavirus. I just have really bad allergies. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please follow all of my social medias that I link in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment if you've read these. I also want to tell you guys that I failed because I did not read 18 books this month. Love and Other Perishable Items took me, I think, like 15 days. So I can't remember. But it took me a long time. It took me longer than I wanted to because I was super uninterested. But it took me, I think I put this in my Goodreads review, but it literally took me like 6 hours to finish the last like 90 pages because I was just like, nothing was happening. Nothing. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm sorry if this is kind of all over the place, and yeah, because it was, and I'm sorry. Hopefully I get better at these. Okay, bye-bye now.